Hi everybody, I'd like to show you something about sound and noise with PCP air rifles. And what I'm going to demonstrate is this moderator put on here. This is one that I make. It's 3D printed and it works great. I'd like to demonstrate that. And I also have these baffles that are also very effective, and it'll be installed to the air rifle using the adapters that I have. Now I want to clear something up about sound meters. Most people test the air rifles with a sound meter that they're buying off eBay or some other place where they're getting a low-cost sound meter. This is a calibrated sound meter. It's a little old, but it's a great meter. And let me show you something about it. It's a CEL 254. This sound meter, as you notice, is designed for impulse sound levels, which is what an air rifle will make. Sound meter is also calibrated using this calibration, so we know that the meter is accurate. And I'm going to try to show you exactly what makes it so different than a standard sound meter. The sound meter, other than having the scales for A and C, which is for hearing levels, okay, so you have dBA or dBc, so we'll go with dBA. We have fast, slow, and then we have impulse, and that's just a reset for the impulse, okay, and we could keep a max level on there. Now, the main difference here, when you look at the meters, is right there. See, fast is 125 milliseconds, slow is a 1 second response, and impulse 35 milliseconds. Now, a rifle impulse is actually faster than 35 milliseconds, but a 35 millisecond impulse, that rise time, is what the human ear hears. That's why this sound level meter is designed for work environments and stuff like that. So I'm going to get this meter all set up, and then I'm going to show you how it works. So just give me a minute with this and I'll be right back. Okay, I got the sound meter all set up, got the batteries in it, so I'm going to turn it on. Now the sound meter takes about 20 seconds to warm up. It's using a 1/4-inch microphone, which is the standard size microphones you would use for impulse sounds. So I'm going to stick this on here. This is for the calibration. Turn it on. Okay. And it should read 114. So as you can see right there, the sound meter is set, it's calibrated. There you go, it's starting to stabilize there. Okay, so with that, we know the sound meter is calibrated. Okay, I have a Uramex Origin Rifle 22 set up. I have it sitting here in my little test piece. The rifle is always disassembled because it's being worked on. What I do have here is a moderator. This moderator is about 1.5 inches diameter, about 6 1/4 inches long. It is 3D printed, and I want to show you the difference on measuring sound with a moderator. Most people are using sound meters that are not fast enough to capture the sound. This is an impulse sound meter, which means when I put this to the impulse mode, it's going to measure the sound at 35 milliseconds. Fast is your typical 125 milliseconds. There's a big difference in that, and 35 is barely enough to really read impulse sound, especially with a moderator. So let me take 3 shots in a fast mode to demonstrate the sound that people typically show, and I'm going to then put it into the impulse mode and show you the difference that the human ear actually hears, because we could hear a 35-second impulse. So let's do the 3 shots and let's see what we come up with. All right, 3 shots. We're going to let it stabilize, and then we'll take the shot. .96.6, 94.3, 95.1. That's a typical meter. And now what's happening is the sound wave is passing that mic so fast it can't really capture it. So now we're going to go up here to impulse. Now we're measuring sound at 35 milliseconds versus the 125. And you're going to notice immediately there's a much higher value on there for dBA. And here we go, 3 shots. 107.6. We'll let this settle down just a little bit. Okay, here we go. 107.8. It's important to let it settle down. I can't hit the reset switch, but just easier like this. Give it a second. All right, here we go. 108.1. So you can see it's a lot more consistent, and you notice the values are a lot higher. And that is because we are now measuring at a much higher sampling rate, and the rise time of the microphone is going to show that. Whereas once you go into that fast mode, it's immediately going to show it reduced, and the sounds that most people are advertising are not real. Look at that. Look at the difference in that. So it's very significant. If we put this actually to a hold value, so if I set this down to impulse, hold, you'll see now it's going to hold the highest value that we're about to capture. 108.5, 108.3 settles. But that is the hold value. That is what the actual shots are. Now, to capture it even faster, you're talking equipment in the thousands of dollars, not versus, $500 to $1,000 for a meter. Basically, if you're going to buy a meter and you want to measure sound, you got to make sure that it has a fast enough rise time to capture it. And this is 35 milliseconds. You get higher than that, and I guarantee you're not capturing what you're really hearing. And that's about it. I hope that clears up a little bit of information about sound meters for people to capture sounds, and maybe we could start comparing things a little more accurately with people who are manufacturing some of these products, because there seems to be very different numbers and none of them are actually factual. So we're trying to hone in on that, try to get that settled out, and last thing I want to do is demonstrate something that does not have the correct values to that. Also, I wanted to add, most of the sound from this rifle actually comes from the firing mechanism. I've measured the sound out of this rifle at around 96 decibels with this end completely isolated for sound. So regardless of whether you're running a moderator or not on this, you are still looking at 96 decibels right to the side of the rifle. Now you step away 1 meter, 2 meter, yeah, sound is going to drop real fast, but that is the main noise out of this rifle that we're picking up right here that you're seeing. I just wanted to put that in there and let people understand that if you think you're going to get whisper quiet with these rifles, it's not going to happen, just because of the sound of the valves with that hammer slapping it. So there is that ping sound. It just sounds like a big spring or whatever it is. It just sounds like a midget in there hitting some kind of pots and pans. I don't know. But in any case, that is what you are hearing. Just hope that helps clear it up for a few people, like I said. And thank you for tuning into the video. Hope this helps and clears it up.